Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. This is another episode of my series called Odd Man Out, but even if you haven't watched the previous ones, I think this stands alone. This is episode 9. It's called Mite, M-I-T-E. Anthony had just discovered his father's having stolen millions of dollars from the inventor of the breakthrough I Love You rosebush. Anthony threatened his dad, "I'm going to the cops." Terrified of a long prison sentence and having to give up his florist farms which he owned, his father muttered, "Anthony, I'll give you the whole field of I Love You rose bushes, and you can grow them and keep all the profits. Start a non-profit if you like. That way good can come from my bed and I won't spend my life in jail." After a long silence, Anthony mused that whitewashing wasn't exactly saintly, but he nodded. It was July, and the 1-year-old rosebushes needed another year until they were saleable. It was an inspiring time for Anthony to start this. The field was covered with velvety, classically formed red roses on compact, glossy plants. They almost looked like miniature Christmas trees with perfectly spaced ruby ornaments around them. To avoid Anthony changing his mind and turning him in, his father taught Anthony everything that he knew about rose growing. For example, the rule of fertilizing, St. Patrick's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, and Labor Day, and that there was no need to buy expensive rose fertilizer. General purpose fertilizer at half the price is fine. His father explained that the miracle of the I Love You rosebush is that beyond being gorgeous, unlike most rose bushes, the leaves stayed healthy without spraying, and that saves money and effort. Of course, Anthony, a Gen Zer, was more impressed that I Love You would be good for the environment, an eco-rose. Anthony entered I Love You in the International Rose Society's trial for Rose of the Year, sending plants to the testing sites all over the world. Fall came, and Anthony harvested the rose blossoms to sell on the roadside stand in front of the nursery. Then the bushes went into dormancy, so in spring they could be reborn. The next May, I Love You won Rose of the Year. Immediately, orders flew in from wholesale nurseries, $430,000 just in the first month. Growers ship roses when they're dormant, December and January. Unfortunately, well before that, in July, most of the leaves started curling on the I Love You rose bushes, turning gray. Anthony called his father out to the field, and he took one look at it, and the diagnosis was clear: spider mites. That field, inland from Flora's farm's other fields, was hotter and drier with less wind, perfect for spider mites. His dad said, spray the field with the stuff in the shed labeled miticide. It's just become illegal. It's a little worse for the environment, I guess, but it works so much better than the stuff the government still allows." Anthony, having become an environmentalist from his high school courses and watching TV, said, "Can't we use the legal stuff?" His father replied, "Maybe. It's riskier, but maybe." Anthony and the farm workers diligently applied the legal miticide as directed every 10 days. But August came, and the leaves on the I Love You rose bushes were grayer and more curled, and the telltale webs on the leaves' underside were thicker. Anthony called University Agricultural Extension, and they said, "No guarantee, but as the weather cools and gets more moist, you should be okay. Probably." The probably scared Anthony. In September, the leaves of the I Love You plants started defoliating. He called Extension again, but it offered no solutions. And by November, when it was time to start harvesting the bushes to fill the orders, 3/4 of the plants had been weakened enough that they were unsaleable. Dispirited, Anthony said, "Dad, I just can't deal with this. How about you take back the land and the roses and just give me enough money for college?" His father agreed. Anthony enrolled for the spring semester at the University of California, Merced, and picked computer science as his major. Everyone was saying that the future is in computers, especially AI. Anthony was scared that college, especially at the University of California, would be hard, and he was right. Before he'd even be allowed to take the prerequisites for the computer science major, he he had to take calculus. Its syllabus said that the course would, quote, emphasize analyzing data by means of linear, quadratic, polynomial, logarithmic, exponential, and trigonometric functions, end quote. By the way, that is taken from an actual UC Merced calculus syllabus. That was enough to scare Anthony, but the first class session terrified him. Practically the first words out of the professor's hard-to-understand accented mouth, you know, the product rule for differentiation. That is verbatim from the first lecture of a UC Merced calculus course, made Anthony's heart pound. You know? I don't know. Anthony also took Introduction to Sociology, which he could comprehend, and it radicalized him to do more for farm workers. Looking at all the courses ahead of him, and that only 72% graduated, even if they took 6 years, Anthony decided to drop out and try to start a nonprofit on behalf of farm workers. But what should his nonprofit's focus be? Tutoring farm workers' kids? Teaching juvenile hall teens to grow roses? Anthony decided, in light of his father's lapse, to teach ethics to farm workers. Alas, it took 6 months just for the government to grant Anthony a permit as a nonprofit. Then he had to get a grant, and that took 12 applications until one finally said yes. Then Anthony had problems getting farm workers to show up for the workshops. Most of the farm workers had activities they understandably prioritized after work, like spending time with their kids, or they just were tired from the day at work. Anthony is wondering if he should go back to college. All because of a mite. In any case, that story is called Mite. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.